So my recent discovery, I'm not one that really cares about cars, okay? I've never really been like, ooh, car. I saw a cherry red Corvette, one of those new Bass, the Stingray. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever been like bricked up by a car before, but that's like the closest we've ever gotten. That thing was so pretty. Someone's old dad was driving it and I'm staring at it, you know, and I'm like, I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at the car. I literally felt so funny there because I'm just like, make it make noise, please, rev it, something. It was nice. Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's having a phenomenal day today. You're kicking off September, okay, with a very fascinating topic, if you will. I was informed that there was some scamming going on with a wedding dress designer. Yeah, I know. I've actually, so crazy enough, have seen two different separate companies that have been scamming the hell out of brides. I'm talking not getting their dresses in until late, not getting the dresses in at all, scamming them out of shipping costs, so much more. I have seen some drama popping off right now. So before I hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below so you'll be notified of all my content. My Instagram, TikTok, and everything else is in the description below if you guys want to hang out with me more, along with my second channel for so much more reaction and lifestyle content, along with where you can watch my podcast episodes for the I've Got You podcast, which is also on Spotify and my second channel. Let's get into it. We have two individuals. We have a content creator on TikTok by the name of She Daddy, like at She Daddy. This is where I originally came across this entire situation. Her original video has 1.6 million views on it, which good. We love when people air out scams and it gets some traction. That's very, very important. She is dealing with a brand named Ma Corsetier. So this is the brand that is designing a bunch of dresses. I'll pop off just like a few videos and things over here so you can see the dresses that this brand is making is stunning. Like, this designer is talented, we know that, but we're having a little bit of difficulty. So allow me to play the first video from our, in my personal opinion, scam victim.
So I'm going through possibly the worst situation that any bride whose wedding is a month out could be going through. I reached out to a dress designer as of over a year ago at this point and connected with her, let her know that I had interest in her designing my dress. I actually found her here on TikTok. She makes incredible pieces. They're handmade corset. She's super, super talented. I was really excited to be working with her. I changed my mind on the style of the design a couple of times and we finalized the detail as of April. I paid for my initial deposit, which was $700 on her website. It's listed as the pricing set for her corsets. After paying the $700, I was really excited between April and I let her know my timeline was really ideally July or early July.
Okay, so this sounds pretty basic when it comes to designing dresses. Actually, funny enough, I'm so serious. There's a designer I've had saved. I have had her saved. Her dresses and pieces are adorable. They're immaculate. They're art. Oh my God. And I'm hoping to be able to, cross my fingers, work with her to design my dress someday. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for. So custom pieces like this, they take a lot of time. It's a whole process. You have to draw everything up, get approvals, talk about fabrics. What are we looking at? Some people want to physically look at the fabric. Some people, like, it just kind of depends on how the designer works. I'm not really well versed in it, but I do know that this is just a lot of steps. You have to make sure that you get their measurements, for example. It's also, I'm sure, kind of nerve wracking, you know, because what if somebody's weight fluctuates and changes, you know, those kind of things to think about. Then you have to make sure that you are sending like follow-up pictures while you were designing the dress to be like, hey, this is our progress, following a strict timeline to make sure you hit the deadline that your clients requested and you agreed to. Also making sure that it gets there, you know, on time with shipping. And if someone is in the industry of designing dresses or designing pieces, you would assume that they have their shit together, especially for something so custom. And they know when to agree to a job or not agree with a job if it is genuinely not going to work for them.
That wasn't going to be possible between April to July based on her schedule and the amount of clients that she was working. So she let me know this. And
I'm kind of actually annoyed by this. So last year, you guys were talking, you guys finalized the design by April, and then finally you're notified of, oh, actually, we're not going to be able to hit July. Why did we agree to the project? Like, I would assume that this is something that would be conversed like about over through like the consultation of saying, hey, this is my plan, this is my deadline, here's my wedding, here's where I feel comfortable getting in, what are your thoughts? And then they could be like, yep, with our work, we can make that happen. Or actually, I'm really not too sure, like something. I feel like this should have been talked with before she even put her deposit in.
And I was willing to compromise. I told her last week of July would be able to work well for me, and really, really pushing it, like the possible last date it could be sent to me would be August 1st. Throughout the span of April to July, I had been consistently texting her, reaching out, checking in, letting her know, hey, I'd love to know where you are in the process. honestly like pestering, being really annoying, but something in me just kind of didn't sit right, and I wasn't feeling super confident about it getting completed in the timeline.
This is incredibly normal for someone to get update photos of the dress and how things are going. I mean, that would make sense because you could check with the client, make sure everything is looking as visualized, you know? Also, that's not pestering if you're asking for an update photo of something you're paying for and getting custom done for you, and they're not giving it to you. That's like, they should be proactive on that.
We discussed. She had to order a special waist fabric that she didn't have. We confirmed the fabric, and the fabric arrived in June, and she didn't actually send me a photo of the fabric like I requested until July 5th, exactly a month later from when the fabric had.
You mean to tell me that you're getting fabrics pre-approved and good to go a month before the wedding? Like, that sounds kind of nuts to get a dress done that quickly, unless some people are incredibly skilled and can like pump shit out quickly and very efficiently. But with handmade stuff, I would assume this takes like, you know, a decent amount of time. If I was her, I would have been incredibly concerned over how long this was taking. This doesn't make sense.
Supposedly arrived. I was freaking out a little bit, and I tried my hardest to be very patient. I completely trusted and relied on her. I saw other dresses that she'd completed for other brides, and they were absolutely stunning. I also, keep in mind, have tried on a ton of wedding dresses. Nothing has given me that like wow factor. Nothing has blown me completely away. And I've seen very beautiful dresses from Fashion Week to Bergdorf's to wherever. And I was really excited to be working with her. Basically, between the month of July, the last update that she actually reached out to me proactively was on July 19th. We confirmed the price of the veil. We confirmed the price of the remaining that I had to pay for the dress, and basically we're good to go. She told me that she was going to be working and constructing the dress the rest of that week, and I didn't hear a single word from her.
I'm sorry, the rest of the week, the construction, why is this shit getting pushed back so fast? So you talked to this person last year, you get the design approved and good to go in April. Okay, cool. And I'm not saying that, like, you know, she's not the only client of this designer's. I get that. But how is it that we're not doing something? Like, to me, okay, maybe this is just sounds silly. Any professionals, anyone who knows of this, understands this, comment down below. I think it's incredibly important for people who work in these industries to speak up. We learn so much when we have others just sharing their experiences. But wouldn't it make sense to be able to have a moment where, yeah, you're working on this dress and you're hitting a timeline. Okay, now we can get started on this one. Like, you're kind of slowly going back and forth and like slowly filtering out. All right, dress 1 is done, great. Now we can keep finishing on with dress 2, 3, we can add on the 4th one. You know, we can keep building on. So I'm just shocked of like, did this person, this designer, take on so much that she just was unable to get it done and this happened last minute? Or was it pure laziness? Like, I don't know what's going on, and I know, like, assuming that, but this does not look good for this to be getting constructed very close to the wedding.
Until I reached out proactively the first week of August, actually after our deadline.
After your deadline, oh, I would have lost my marbles. Most wedding dresses that I've learned of take a while to get everything good to go for you. There's no way. Wedding dress shops that I know of would be like, hey, we can't hit it by this, like, we know we can't hit it by this deadline. Here are your options. This is insane.
She let me know, even though we talked about this back in July, on August 4th, 3 days after our August 1st, like maximum, beyond maximum deadline, like we're getting into the red zone here as I leave for my wedding on September 6th. She let me know that she'd be starting working on the skirt and that the corset top of my dress was finished. I already invested $700 into this, so I was trying to be super positive, trying to be super patient with her. And honestly, looking back on it, was overly accommodating, overly nice for someone that I paid a service, and they were not completing the service within the timeline that I had requested. At this point, I'm out $700 and I'm freaking out. I'm having a really hard time sleeping. And I asked for photos of their current progress, and I never received any photos. I repeatedly asked for them. And then I was told last Monday.
This beautiful woman is so much nicer than me. I don't know if she's going to answer this question or not, but I wonder if there's any contracts involved, because I feel like with a dress like this, I would want to be like, hey, let's have a contract if this is what's going to happen when. 100% legal, good to go. But it's like, hey, you're agreeing to these terms and conditions to get this done. I think that's more than fair to make sure everyone's safe and okay. I think it's more than fair for also any like businesses to make sure to offer that of like, hey, we're entering in a contractual agreement. This is what we're offering you. This is where we guarantee to get it done. If we don't, this is what will happen. I do not. This is horrendous. I would be losing my marbles if I wasn't hearing anything back about my dress.
A day later, August 5th, that she did not have time to complete my veil, even though we initially started speaking back last year, and we confirmed and I started paying the deposit for everything early April. At this point, we're a month away from my wedding. I'm going to be out of town this week. So even if she sent it tomorrow, I'm likely not receiving it considering it's coming from Austin. I basically ended up reaching out to them and letting them know that I did not feel comfortable on Friday continuing our arrangement, considering we were well over a week over my deadline and I didn't have shoes, jewelry, or anything for the dress, not to mention now I don't even have a veil for this dress.
Yeah. Also, it's not like you can push back the wedding. Venues cost a shit ton of money. And I would be waiting to see my dress before I bought like shoes and everything else. 100%. I also would want some time to check it out, make sure it's all good to go and there's no other changes that need to be made. This designer is messy as hell from what I'm hearing.
It's actually really heartbreaking considering that I really, really love her work and I think she's incredibly talented, but clearly they have a business management issue. I basically said, hey, listen, you can keep the money. I'd like the corset that I paid for. She prices her corsets on her website at around $700 because they're custom made and take a lot of time to do. I totally respect the time and effort and energy she put into it. Told her, hey, I'd let you keep this money. Please just send me the corset. They absolutely refused to do so until I paid the remaining fee for the dress. They claimed they cut the fabric. I didn't see any photos or evidence of said cut fabric. We are well over my due date for when this dress was supposed to be in my hand and on my person by. And they are really, honestly, being extremely unprofessional at this point. I just wanted to share my story and warn people from working with this business. I'll tag the business down below. I really hope that this never happens to anyone. I have not gotten my money back at this point. I filed a dispute with the credit card company. They're going to be fighting against it. There is an option to take them to small claims court. However, consulted with my lawyer, they said it'd be a little bit of a headache. So I let them know that I was going to be making this review if they didn't come to some sort of arrangement with me, and nothing's been done other than basically them, disrespecting and continuing to gaslight me about my experience working with them. So just wanted to warn any other brides. I hope this never ever happens to anyone ever with their wedding a month away, actually less than a month away at this point.
So unfortunate. So that was the original post that was made by the content creator. So I am going to do a few things here. I want to show you guys the response because the brand did finally respond. Then we also have other people who have had negative experiences from the exact same brand, by the way. It's one thing for a business to mess up. Like I am never going to be someone that's like, if you mess up, go to hell. Like that's an insane take. I think acknowledging and taking accountability, giving refunds, but fighting against it is stupid. For example, maybe you bought something, it wasn't to your satisfaction. You're like, hey, can I get a refund? And you're like, yeah, absolutely. If businesses go above and beyond to be kind, I think that's very, very good and what we should encourage. Accountability, fixing and moving on. This is a whole different ballgame that I am so disappointed by. So let's go to the actual business and the business website. This is incredibly fascinating. The second I go to the website, y'all, the first part of the site says, important disclaimer, we have experienced unprecedented growth over the past few months and are only accepting orders from December 2024 or later. We are in the process of redesigning our website. In the meantime, all orders must be placed via email inquiry to macorsatir@macorsatir.com. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Here is the response that the brand and designer put up from this.
Hi everyone, I'm here to speak against the allegations regarding myself and my company against an unhappy bride that canceled her custom gown once the gown was already in production. The design was not finalized until early spring, and she had not put a deposit down until the end of April. Because we had been speaking for quite a long time now, I wanted to honor that, and you can see in the messages between us, I fully was transparent.
Because we've been speaking a long time, I wanted to honor that. What? Like, that makes no sense to me. So she's pretty much like vocalizing, yeah, we finalized the design, deposit was put in late April. Okay, like, cool. That's what the original content creator said. The light gray is the original content creator, blue is the brand. And according to like these messages, this is what was happening. So I'm assuming if I waited to order anything else, the timeline would probably just extend out, right? She said, when is your wedding? If you wanted a skirt, I'm comfortable making the timeline would be the same. I can pretty much do anything but tulle, unfortunately, at the moment. Since we already did a mock-up corset, I'm very confident it would be to your liking. Then the original bride said, yes, so my wedding is in September and I'm leaving the country the first week of September. I'd love to work with you and I'm a little crushed about the timeline. I would be totally fine with sourcing the tulle and skirt elsewhere. My main priority is having time to do that, which sounds like no matter what, I want your timing is still completion into August. Is that right? At this point, if the timeline that the bride is discussing is not going to work out, the designer should have said no. The designer should have said, hey, we're not going to be able to do this. I'm so sorry. Because also a year out is, I think, pretty good to pick out a dress, depending on, who you are and how much you want to get done. From April to late July, like, damn.
That I wasn't even sure that I was able to take her order any longer, and that I might only be able to supply her with a corset, and came up with this unique sketch. And this was the gown that was in production when she canceled her order on August 9th. We worked together to source.
Okay, so you're verbalizing that she canceled her order August 9th. And apparently y'all agreed to get the ship to her like by the 1st. Yeah, no shit, I'd be canceling that too. What?
A custom lace fabric for her. I gave her a bunch of options, as you can see here on all the messages. She chose the one that she liked. We went with this beautiful beige lace fabric that I got from a supplier that I work with in Lithuania. From the beginning, we agreed upon an estimated delivery date of around.
Estimated delivery date on the text, again, gray is bride, blue is the business. The bride said, hi, I just wanted to follow up on some things here. What would the soonest timeline if I just did one corset without any of the details, just the standard one on your website? The business responded, hi, so sorry. Since this is my personal cell, sometimes I do not check all my messages often, which I'm kind of confused because then what the are you doing conversing with something about business if you aren't able to get back to them? But whatever. I can send you a swatch of the fabric so you can match the skirt. No matter the design of the corset, the timeline will be around the beginning of August at the moment. Not annoying at all, of course. I apologize for the delayed replies. Then the bride said, that's so sad to hear. Okay, I understand. I think I'll have to just find some other options for my wedding dress then.
The beginning of August, and all of that was fully transparent to her the entire time. Once the gown was in production in early August and late July, she never went over 12 hours without receiving a reply back from us. She also was informed of the delays because I don't know if people realize this, but I am the only one making all of these gowns.
And while I get that, if you're accepting a job that you know you cannot make, that's still not okay for you to do. If you're saying, hey, beginning of August, and you guys agreed to the beginning of August for however amount of work that is, the corset and a skirt, and it sounds like she was going to source tulle from somewhere else. Okay, fine. It doesn't matter. You agreed to the terms of, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to get. I can get it to you by very, very beginning of August is what we're looking like. If you guys agree to that, and if you're like, well, I'm the only one designing them, girlie, you know that. If you know that, you got to know what you can and can't take on. That's just my take on this.
As you can see here on August 4th,
So on August 4th, the bride said, hey, I wanted to follow up on progress. Feel free to have blank follow up, but I just wanted to check back in so I can start to look for shoes. Thanks. There was a response from the business that said the corset is finished and I'll be finishing the skirt within the next week and shipping out. This was August 4th. Bride said, amazing. Yay. So excited to see everything and try it all on. I feel like this is just somebody being nice. If you kind of agreed to a deadline and you're still pushing it, that is kind of ridiculous. I would be incredibly hesitant to be more assertive on this because yeah, you don't want to be mean or annoying, but I still think if you agree to getting it done at the beginning of August and it's not, like I said, what are we doing?
She asked for an update. We updated her. I told her that the full garment would be finished within the next week and it would be shipped out to her. We had a phone call from her request on the 8th of August, and she did express concern of how the wedding was truly stressing her out, which we completely understood. We agreed upon having final photos sent to her on Saturday, and the dress was then planned by me to be sent out Monday morning for a Tuesday express delivery date.
Monday morning. This is still pushing. Let me quickly go back over and look at August. So August shipped out on Monday because that text was on the 8th. So she said they had a call on the 8th of August, which is a Thursday. Shipped out Monday, shipped out some Saturday, get there Monday, whatever. That is mid-August.
On that Friday, this is when we received this unexpected text message.
Okay, yeah, August 9th was when she said, hey, this isn't going to work out. Yeah, the fact that it's even going to arrive at this poor bride's house, essentially mid-month is just nuts to me. The response is, hi, you two. I wanted to reach out because I'm really uncomfortable with what's been happening with the stress situation and the fact that it hasn't been started until this week. I'm really upset that I haven't had any photos sent to me just yet, and I think it would be best to terminate our relationship. I know you put time and effort into this, and I don't expect a refund, but I will take the course at top when it's completed, and that'll be the end of this. That's fair. That is so not, you are nicer than me, honey. That's all I gotta say. That is an incredibly reasonable, nice way to handle this.
Of her canceling her order, and I wanted to give her a chance because we had been speaking so long, and just 4 days ago she had been sending me hearts and smiley faces, and she was so excited. And so I thought maybe I was very concerned that she was not understanding.
Someone who isn't confrontational is not going to just jump in. She was literally making it very obvious how, like, hey, have we said anything? Have we done anything? Also, how are you surprised? Just in my own head, I would assume that it would be like, I'm so sorry. This is the timeline. Are you okay? How are you feeling? You know, instead of just being so blatantly oblivious.
Understanding the consequences of actually canceling her own gown. And I wanted to double check with her that she understood that if she cancels the gown, she has to afford the repercussions, unfortunately. In our policy,
if she cancels her gown, she has to afford the repercussions. Apparently, they have a cancellation policy and a refund policy, which every company I think should have. But when you're the one doing it wrong, that shouldn't matter anymore. If someone's randomly canceling last minute and wasting your time, that's a different ballgame. When you're pushing a limit and you're going past an agreed due date, that's your fault. So trying to say repercussions that she has to deal with because of your own wrongdoing is ridiculous.
It says that clients who cancel their sales contract are not entitled to any refund of any money up until and before the cancellation date. For gowns that are already in production, especially custom gowns with custom source fabrics made to her measurements that cannot be resold or repurposed in any way at all, that the client is then responsible in payment in full to the company for the release of any of the pieces of the garment.
Okay, and that would make sense, except for y'all were the ones that up. I think to me that is so generous of the bride to say, hey, I've already technically paid the amount that it costs for a corset. You've gone past my due date. Can I just have the corset? We just call it even. We're not doing this anymore. She offered to pretty much, from what we've heard from the bride, she's like, I'm going to put up a review pretty much and talk about this if this isn't handled properly. She gave you opportunities to literally have this never hit the internet. Yet here we are.
It does remain the possession of my corsetier until the payment is received in full. She then goes and tries to barter with us and unfortunately say that she is entitled to a full refund or entitled to her corset top being released, and she doesn't need to pay for the skirt. She doesn't need to do anything further. She wants to terminate our business relationship, aka cancel her gown, but still have the corset sent to her. But unfortunately, as much as I would like to help her, it does not work like that.
Yeah, it does. You messed up. Like, I don't know how this is so difficult. Like it's putting the blame back on the bride again, and I don't get that. If the bride said, hey, this is what I need to get done, are you able to do that? And if you agree to it, and then if you don't do the damn thing and get it to her way too late, and she's like, hey, dude, I can't wait anymore, then yes, that's a problem. Because if this keeps getting pushed back and you expect it done on August 1st, and then you have to keep waiting, like, I would assume that the bride would probably be sitting here, and this is what I would think, and be like, yeah, okay, if it kept getting pushed back, why is it that I'm going to actually trust you to get it shipped to me even mid-August? That's not enough time. I would be pissed. So no, it is more than fair for her to get a refund for all this because of how much y'all been around.
It just doesn't. She then confirms a few days later that she does want to cancel the gown, but she is entitled to the corset top. We continued to try to work with her even after the gown cancellation. We gave her several options.
Okay, so they said that they gave her several options. So they said, hi, so-and-so, I'm reaching out here again. I understand a message we sent to blank on her personal phone number about the situation. Because this has become an escalated issue, we are no longer using any personal phone numbers on our end for communication. Moving forward, everything needs to be via business email for bookkeeping. I do understand the concerns you have stated up to this point. We do apologize that this delay does not seem to work out for you. For this, we do apologize. Okay, so you're acknowledging right there in that email, we apologize that this delay does not seem to work out for you. Delay made on y'all's behalf, and you blame this on her still, and you don't do anything to jump through your literal ass to fix it. How do you think this is gonna work out? Like, I don't get when bad business owners make horrendous decisions and then are like, I'm still gonna be so good. Like, I'm good. Like, why do you want to be that way? Like, the customer's never always gonna be right. I completely agree. I used to work in the service industry. The customer's not always right. But this is a time where I do believe the customer is right. You're apologizing for this. She continues on by saying, we do not offer refunds for custom orders. As discussed upon payment, the order for the corset was used as a deposit. Deposits from a corsetier are non-refundable. We are happy to send the corset, but the entire custom payment must be sent. A deposit, I would say, is put to like hold your place for something or put money down. Like if you put a deposit for a hairstylist and you don't show up, then that's kept. That makes sense. You didn't follow up on your end of the bargain, so that should be completely void. Deposits for a corseteer are non-refundable. We are happy to send you the corset, but the entire custom payment must be made. If you're still interested in obtaining the skirt, the setback has unfortunately caused quite a delay in the studio. Oh, wow. Delay in the studio, meaning like all their productions. And your delivery will be pushed back quite a bit as we have no choice but to prioritize others whose weddings are just around the corner. Also, this was posted 8/12. Posted up 8/12. So if she emailed y'all or told y'all on the 9th that she doesn't feel comfortable, on the 12th, then she hears back more on a Monday, which is when the dress should have been sent. Hello? And so, it's going to get pushed back because of your bad decisions is pretty much what I'm hearing. You should, first of all, be handling your shit well to where this doesn't impact the brides as well. What the hell are you doing? Like, actually, what are you doing? This is nuts. More messages that said, hi blank, unfortunately that's not an option. You can pay the remaining balance and wait for all garments to be completed and shipped projected Monday for overnight by us, or you can pay the remaining balance and we'll send out only your corset and possibly late skirt as mentioned tomorrow. Possibly? Oh God, I'd be pissed. We are a bespoke brand and do not offer refunds. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that you are disappointed and this does not seem to be working. Production on your skirt is stopped. If you make a decision, then we will resume. I hear the frustrations and I do apologize. I know that blank apologizes as well. If the skirts were not already in production, we could do that, what you may ask. However, this is a business and we are to abide by our policies. The first payment has acted as a deposit. The second payment is the payment in full. We do require full payments even for canceled orders. These are custom garments and returns are not offered.
Of what she wanted to do. Within 24 hours of this, we received a chargeback on the card and all of the money was then stripped from us. And against what people are saying in Shopify rules, once a chargeback is completed onto the card, you cannot give the person a refund. Even if I wanted to refund her, I am not able to.
Okay, well then send her shit. If you're not able to refund, send her shit and take the loss because it doesn't matter. She filed with her card, which is exactly what she should have done. That's what I tell everyone to do. File with your card if you have been scammed. File with that as quickly as you can. Just save as much evidence for your card company. They should be able to help you. You need to take the loss and do whatever you can to make this up because this does not make you look good.
This entire thing has been incredibly disappointing and just incredibly unnecessary. We were willing to work with her and we're working with her every single step of the way.
Unnecessary. Because of your fuck up. This is unnecessary for her to react that way. Okay.
And if she had waited 3 additional days, she would have received her gown last Tuesday in full.
How was she supposed to know that if y'all weren't even getting, like, literally, I'm sorry, but how would she even to trust that? If her deadline was the 1st, it's getting shipped to her by the 12th of August, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be trusting for a second that it would be arriving on the 12th. I'd be like, there's no way, I don't trust this person, I can't do this anymore. You're shocked that she doesn't trust your ass? Huh?
I want to remind all of you again that this was a one-of-one gown, and once it is canceled, all deposits are non-refundable, just like anything that is made to order in the entire world. Because of this, I did have to take a break for a few days, and unfortunately our timeline was so tight that I'm not allowed to take a break for a few days. And so I really want to deeply apologize for the other orders and girls that were affected.
Oh my God, apologizing to the other brides and orders who were impacted by this. Pretty much in my opinion, this sounds like you're blaming the bride for your lack of timing and organization. That is the shittiest, this is the worst video to acknowledge this.
All orders now are placed via private inquiry only, and the timeline of these orders are now under control. I want to shift my energy in a positive manner and continue working with those brides who truly understand what a handmade garment is And
do you understand a calendar, maybe a Google reminder, iPhone, an Apple reminder, a little something? I mean, shit, a sticky note for fuck's sake. Like literally, you can't make sure you're staying on a timeline and like get a whiteboard and some colorful ass markers and be like, cool, this is what we're gonna do. Pink means this is the like person we're working on, and this is the times that we need to make sure we send an update. It's not that hard. If it's hard, then don't accept that many orders, goofy.
what they are receiving. So thank you for everyone that has been truly understanding and is still excited to work with us, because we will be continuing and we have a lot in store for the future and are very excited.
Okay, so that was it. Ridiculous to say the least. So that was it, and we finally got an update, by the way, from the original bride. I'm highly agitated by this company. And for such artistic capabilities that I see on her page, I'm like, are you kidding me? And it makes me mad because I see such beautiful pieces made by business owners or just really skilled business owners in general tank their reputation because of stuff like this. This is just lacks overall empathy and basic human decency.
So I have some updates over the situation, and I just want to thank every single person who helped get my video attention and bring it to other brides as a warning, because that truly was my intention here. And it actually did get the attention of the vendor. I also wanted to shed some light and clarify some things on the timeline end. Some people felt like I was leaving details out. I just didn't want to make this video longer than it already was. I reached out to her, I believe the summer of 23. We were in basically constant contact. She let me know that she was not really making a lot of bridal dresses, and she was super excited to be working with me on my wedding dress. We changed the design a couple of times. I changed the design a couple of times. One of the reasons was because I asked for a tulle skirt. She let me know she wasn't comfortable working with tulle. Great, no problem. We moved on and finalized on a corset top, over skirt, and a lace skirt. She was super sweet, super collaborative, and at the time didn't really post many people in her dresses except for herself. I saw working with her as a really great way to intimately work on my wedding dress and be really involved in the creation of it, whereas a bridal salon can take up to like 9 months sometimes to get a custom dress from those salons, because there's a ton of vendors involved and a ton of ordering from here and there, and also probably much more demand. The real issue is that she began working on the dress a week after the actual due date. I don't know if she started working on it beforehand, but it seemed like from communications with her assistant, who let it slip, that she hadn't even started working on the skirt yet, and this was already a week after the due date. So I hadn't seen photos. I asked for photos many, many times in that week, and nothing was discussed until my final decision to actually cancel my order with them on Friday. I never asked for a refund. I simply asked if she could send me my corset, and I actually was even willing to pay for the material that she cut. That's how much I respected her, her work. I was devastated.
This poor woman was like, let me please pay for your fabric that you cut if you did, like, just give me the corset. I want this done. You're nicer than me, man. You are. Wow. That's sad. That's sad because yeah, like you don't want to assume something negative about a really good designer, but with the way that this was going down, she had no options. This is sad actually.
Having to terminate that relationship, but I didn't really see it that I had any other choice. So my wedding is actually out of country, and it's happening next month in mid-September. So we really don't have that much of a time turnaround between actually getting a dress, and especially considering the fact that it's coming from Austin to New York. So she reached out to me actually after seeing the video. So thank you everyone who helped get the video in front of her, and let me know that she'd be happy to refund me if I canceled the chargeback as well as deleted the video.
Of course, I'll give you your refund if you take your video down being honest about what I did. If you fuck up that bad, the last thing you should be doing is asking someone to get rid of the video. Like truly, you have to accept that. That's your consequence. She warned you. Like she warned you. You didn't handle this properly. She put it up and now you're like, oh, I'll give you. No, keep the chargeback on there too, because you need documentation of this. If things are okay, then you can settle it, but no.
I didn't feel good about canceling the chargeback, so I reached out to my credit card company, asked them what that process looked like, and they basically let me know, if you cancel, we cannot reopen the case, so have her refund the money, and then the chargeback will be obviously canceled because it would have been resolved. I let her know, and she sent me a couple of screenshots basically saying her system didn't allow her to give me money if there's an open chargeback. But the person that I spoke to specifically at my credit card company told me their system should not be impacted by the chargeback and they should be able to still.
Well, yeah, if you're in Shopify, then you should be, I almost said Spotify. If you're in Shopify, that's a huge organization. There should be an option of if you got a chargeback or something, you could try and initiate a connection, whether, I don't know if the specifics, but maybe the original customer, the company, whatever that may be, there should be something that's there. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. You should, I literally, at that point, be like, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, what you got? I'm sending this. I'm giving you everything. I am paying for the core set to be sent. I'm taking this as a loss. I apologize. You don't have to take the video down. Your experience is your own, and I respect that because I didn't do a good job, and I really thoroughly apologize, and I wish you well with everything in your wedding. That's how that should have been handled. It's really easy to not be an asshole. It really is, and I don't get this.
Will refund you with an open chargeback. I haven't heard back since, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that situation and if I'll get my money back. But again, appreciate every single person who's reached out and, showed their support because the situation has definitely aged me like 3 years. But obviously a very special thank you to House of CB who's sending me a dress, which is so exciting. I don't currently have a beautiful white wedding dress, so I ordered one with them. So I'm really excited about that. And I was actually jumping up with joy for the first time last night when I was messaging them. I will keep you guys involved if anything else pops up.
So crazy. I had them saved because they have made a bridal collection for their dresses. They're known for some really beautiful dresses. There were some that I even eyed because I was like, oh God, they're beautiful. They're really, really pretty. So House of CB is a company that reached out and said, hey, we see your situation. Can we gift you a dress pretty much? Whichever one, let us know. That's really cool. I think their dresses can range from like $1,000+ or so. Pretty good pricing. I'd say they look really stunning. The point is, this is just a really incredibly disappointing situation. Also, another thing I just noticed as I was scrolling through and looking for other people's negative experiences, I'll pop over some others that I was able to catch right over here.
So to be honest, I can't even believe that I'm making this video right now. But I just want to say, hi Cricket. I think it's very funny that you said that you were addressing the allegations against you and your company when you and I and other people know that you actually stole that company from your sister, but we'll get into that later. I'm just thinking that it's a little funny that you were able to make a whole TikTok video response to a bride, but you couldn't even text me back about the refund that I'm supposed to be getting because I'm returning the full dress to you. I'll post that here. So, yeah, you can't respond to me, but you can make a whole TikTok. That's fine. No, that's fine. I just don't understand why it's so hard for you to just say, you know what, guys, I messed up, overbooked, really shouldn't have taken orders, and just take accountability, because it seems like you keep telling people that you care about the brides and all of this, but the only time you actually care is when anyone has a following or any sort of weight to the opinions of other people. You don't actually care what the brides think at all. And I'll make a whole video later this weekend about all the receipts that I have, because I paid you 1.6K for a dress that came in with, first of all, the wrong color, skirt uneven, sleeves couldn't even lift up my arms, the zipper completely unfinished, the layering under the lace non-existent, the layering of the lace completely uneven, whole thing lopsided, just absolute insanity.
And additionally, after all that is said and done, allegedly the sister of the original designer has come out and made her own conversation. It's a really long video, so I will just have the video linked in the description below. But she made her own TikTok pretty much going on about how her sister kind of took the idea from her. They don't speak anymore, and she just started everything up, kind of left her sister in the dark, which is kind of insane. So it just sounds like there's a little bit of a pattern here. Yeah, that was it for today's video. What do you guys think? I never really pictured that could, happen, but hey, there's always some sketchy shit in every industry, as you guys know, and we talk about it here on this channel. Also, comment down below. There is another situation that just happened with an incredibly well-known dress designer that actually has designed dresses for Beyonce that is under some very, very similar allegations as well, almost worse than this one. So let me know if y'all want to hear that one too. So that was it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.